Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all the usual jazz. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to my car dealing life. And somehow, WeBuyAnyCar, the set of absolute I'll bleep that, have somehow dragged me back into a problem here. So I have never come across this before. And somehow it's landed on my desk. My friend has put a car into WeBuyAnyCar that I sold him, and they have rejected it and delivered it back on his drive and essentially cancelled and unwound the deal. Now, I've never come across this before. As far as I'm concerned, if you're a car dealer or a motor trade professional, i.e. a car dealing business, like WeBuyAnyCar, if you buy a car for the public, it's kind of on you, really. However, apparently they've got a load of terms and conditions which they tie you in knots with, and section 4.1 or whatever it is in this terms and conditions has absolutely stuffed my friend Matt, which in turn has stuffed me. So I'm going to tell you the story about what's happened with this particular car, and unfortunately it's now sat in my showroom and it has become my problem, because obviously everything is my problem. So let's talk about the tale of the VW Touareg that I sold to my friend Matt. Right, I sold a Porsche Cayenne. I know, sounds like I'm changing the subject, but I'm not. I sold a Porsche Cayenne to who I thought was a lovely chap from Wigan around about 6 months ago. Beautiful car. I'd taken it back in off a bloke I'd sold it to 3 years ago, back at the old unit, funnily enough. Got it on this. That's it! Can you see the screen? Callum's filming this.
Not.
There's a Porsche Cayenne. That's the car. Anyway. So I've sold this car to this chap from Wigan, and he has part exchanged a VW Touareg. Now, I want to say it was about £9,500 for this car in part exchange. And in the back of my mind, I was thinking, that is the perfect car for me. So there are some admissions of guilt here. I have dropped the ball when I was checking that car. However, I did that because I was buying it with my heart rather than buying it with my head, because I was thinking, I'm going to keep this car for myself. It could be a great tow pig, smoke about in it. It'll do for me, perfect. And also I was buying it at the right money because I believe, ironically, WeBuyAnyCar at the same time were offering him around about 11, and I offered 9.5, and he was all right with that. Anyway, I bought the car, taken it into stock. Subsequently, I drove that car for around about 3,000 to 3,500 miles. I took it up to Northumberland to go golfing with Papa. I took it down to Wales to take my good lady to a really nice, quiet B&B. In fact, I'm going to do a little cut into this quiet B&B for you now. Maserati. Yeah?
Really?
Yeah. Cheers. Another one. I loved it. Anyway, so it's toured all over the UK, this car. Never had a problem, never missed a beat. Matt, my friend, came in, he said, Rob, I'm just looking for a car that my missus can use for the horses, something that's just a 4x4, can just smoke about and whatever. And at this point, I'd kind of scratched the itch of driving the Touareg, and I sort of thought, you know what it is, I'll just trade out to this. I actually had another dealer who was going to buy it off me at the time for around about 10, but I just said to Matt, you can have it for what it owes me, £9,500. The car looks like 12 to 12.5 retail. It's too many miles for me to retail because it's done 115k. So you know what it is, do you a favour, just have it, mate. And we said in explicit terms that this is a trade deal, Matt, and it is now your car and your problem. And to be fair to him, he did have a little issue with the roof, which he still brought down here, but was free to fix. And it's an understanding, is it, between friends? Not an issue at all. Matt has now driven this car for around about 2,000 miles himself, albeit short trips, just going to the stables and all that sort of stuff. Sounds like a very posh bloke. You wouldn't think it if you met him. Anyway, I hope you watch this, Matt. And he enjoyed the car, never had a problem with it, never missed a beat. I even put it through an MOT, I think, when we got it in. Just no issues whatsoever with this car. Fast forward to around about 6 months from me acquiring this vehicle, and Matt wants to sell it. Now, at this point, I said, yeah, I can put it into trade and see if we can get you any bids for the car. There are a couple of issues with it, but nothing major. The heated seats don't work. We had a look into it. We think it might be the seat pads or potentially a temp sense. We don't know what it is exactly, but we're trading it out. It's just like, just tell the trader it's got a problem and it's their problem. There's no point prepping it if you're not selling it. So he put it on motorway to sell it because I tried to put it into trade and for some reason I wasn't getting the bids that we were trying to get. I did say to him, I said, for some reason, Matt, I cannot buy a car off motorway. Everything seems to go for mad money. So why don't you just give it a go? Now, I do understand that motorway, dealers buy cars off there and then when they turn up, there's a little bit of a kick in the genitalia area as they try and get money back off the car. So I was like, go with your eyes wide open, Matt, but it might be you get more money that way. So he put it into motorway. He got a bid on the car for £7,700, I want to say. Guy came up, another trader, had a look around the car and plugged in a diagnostics machine. And on the diagnostics machine, it came up with various different faults. And he said to Matt's wife, because Matt wasn't there at the time, there's a problem with this car and it should be bringing up an engine management light. Which is weird because there's no engine management light showing. So they basically concluded that the engine management light must have been removed out of this car and said to them, look, we'll still buy it, but it's £4,500. Matt's missus, who isn't short of saying what she thinks, I know, because the first time I met Matt's missus, she blamed me for combing the wheel on her car, which I didn't do. It was Matt. Fortunately, Matt came in and rescued me on that one, which is how we became friends, actually. She's lovely anyway, Claire, but she doesn't mince her words. She told the trader what to do, and he left, as requested. And they decided that what they're going to do now is just go to WeBuyAnyCar. Go to WeBuyAnyCar, chuck it into there, because they sort of thought this dealer was legging them up. And I do understand that car dealers have got a bad reputation, more to do with historical 80s, 90s car dealers rather than the modern day car dealer. However, I can understand why they thought he's probably pulling a fast one here. So, took it to WeBuyAnyCar, sold it to them. They got £7,350 for it. I was not aware of this at all, what was going on in the background. And sold it to them, and they said, oh, would you like same-day payment for £50, or we can pay it in 48 hours for £25, or 4 working days, you'll get your money. And Matt, foolishly, said, just 4 working days, I don't need the money, I'm not in a massive panic for it, just sends it when you sends it. 2 days later, he gets a phone call from WeBuyAnyCar, I'll bleep it again, and they've basically said to him, there is a problem with this car, we've sent it through mechanical prep, and we don't want it. So as per your contract, and I'm going to read this out to you so you can see what the email was that they sent to him. So this is the email that they sent to him. Dear Mr. Bleep, we're getting in touch regarding this vehicle that you presented at our branch on this date. When entering the contract of the company, you are required to make a number of representations under Section 4 of our standard contract terms and conditions. And they then start to pull out the different contract sections. This includes Section 4, C5. You have disclosed to us all matters which a prudent purchaser would want to know about. How I wish I'd have given this to the guy from Wigan. We arranged for your vehicle to be inspected by a technical services team to ensure that all matters a prudent purchaser, I'm not really sure what that means, would want to know about, such as any accident damage or mechanical issues, have been disclosed. The results of the inspection have identified that your vehicle's engine management light has been tampered with. The EML has been removed so the light isn't illuminated on the dash, which I'm baffled by that you could do that on a car that's less than 10 years old. I didn't think that was a thing. And I'm kicking myself for not checking anyway. I never noticed. The engine management light would have illuminated and the lights have been removed so the vehicle looks like it has no faults. To reflect this new and significant information, the company has offered you a revised price of £4,300 before fees, which you have rejected. Quite right, Matt. So, it's back on my desk. And this, unfortunately, is the nature of the beast when you're a car dealer, isn't it? So, Matt's a good friend. I'm going to make sure that he's not in a worse position because of this situation. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to now deal with the situation. I'm 3 days back into 4 months off, and it begins again, doesn't it? So, car's back here. I'm going to get down there, plug it in, see what these fault codes are. I cannot think what the problem might be. For someone to take an engine management light out, it's not going to be a simple fix, isn't it? But at the same time, I kind of had in my head, oh, I wonder if it's the timing chain that's stretched, or I wonder if it's something, fairly sinister like that, and they thought, knock the engine management light off and stick it into Rob, the poor little car dealer. The guy that bought the Porsche, by the way, put a warranty claim in. Remain composed. So we're going to plug it in, have a look, let's try and find out what the fault is. The battle plan is we either A, try and repair it, back into WeBuyAnyCar and see whether or not they'll still honour their original quote. I highly doubt it. Or B, we keep it and give him his 7,300 quid that he got offered by WeBuyAnyCar, which, by the way, is a pretty savage bid. Anyway, let's get downstairs, get the machine in, and just see what I'm dealing with. Here we go. Right, let's have a look. This is the car in question. Headache. I questioned, should I just kept this for myself in the first place? And I'd never have known it. It never would have been a problem, would it? So we have got Top Don, which we've tried doing a plug for in the past, equipment. So I'm going to get it plugged in, get it up on this, and then let's have a look at some codes and see whether or not we've got half a chance of finding out what's wrong with this bloody car. Oh, right, let me just get it set up, 1 minute. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is obviously check and see if there is an engine light on this car. And normally when you fire a car up, as I now know, and have known forever, there's no engine light appearing on the dashboard, which is concerning. That's going to bleep us, isn't it? I'll do the window down. Oh, it stopped bleeping. We're all right. So, what I'll do now, we've got ignition lights were on, so we're okay. So you go into the car, auto VIN. It's cold and the heated seats don't work. So. Okay, that's it. Confirm. Yes. I'm dreading this, to be honest, because if you take an engine light out of a car, I mean, unless the bulb's gone, but I think that's been a little bit naive, isn't it? So, auto scan. Let's see what it comes up with. What's your guesses? Put your guesses in the comments below. Absolutely no idea. It's just communicating with the vehicle now. I suspect what we're going to end up doing here is buying this car back off Matt. I think by the time we've finished actually, because I would drive it, even with that problem, just thinking, whatever. But at least if we can have some sort of an idea as to what's going on, then at least I know what I'm facing, don't I? Still connecting. Am I doing this right? Callum's nodding. Oh, we're in. Right. Do I just do a full scan here? Full scan. Let's just do the lot. This might take a while, so I'll be back with you shortly.
A few moments later.
There's a lot of faults appearing on here. However, I think what the best solution is going to be is to, let's have a look at the engine stuff, because logically that's going to bring up the engine management light. And we'll clear everything and we'll go again with it. Give it a run around the block. But we've got engine control module 6 faults. Can I go into this while it's scanning? I could pause it. I'm very cold. So the bin men have just come to next door, and I'm going to go with, they're going to abandon that bin in my car park, which is their favourite thing to do. Is he gonna? No, that's rubbish content. He's put it back. First time ever. My mate was a bin man. He called himself a refuse disposal management consultant, something along those lines. He's a bin man. He could dance. That's the story for another day. 100%. Right, okay, so let's have a look at the engine control module and see what's wrong with this machine. Read DTCs. Knock sensor, O2 sensor, knock sensor, lost communication with steering angle sensor, that is a forget about that job. Loss of crankshaft synchronization. Again, that could just be a battery issue. So the only one that is active is a knock sensor. Why would you take an engine management light bulb out for a knock sensor? The only time I think that someone would potentially have taken an engine management light out for a knock sensor would have been during COVID, where they couldn't get one. Okay, so let's just have a, while we're in the car, let's just see what else I'm faced with here. So that's DC, DTC. We've got transmission issues. Okay, lost communications. Yeah, so it's just, this is all. What I'm going to do is I'm going to parking brake fault. I had that yesterday when I was pulling off his drive. I'm going to clear everything. I'm going to run it home tonight, run it back in, and then we'll see what problems are remaining on this car. However, it looks like just a sensor. It's not going to be, is it? Because this is Rob and this is the logbook. It's never just a bloody sensor. Clear. Right. Answers on a postcard. There will be a part 2 to this video. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about this, how I'm going to put Matt right, but I'm going to put Matt right. He's going to be okay. Who'd have thought it? We buy any car. If they're not happy with the car, we'll stick it straight back into it. And this is how close it was to going to auction. Look at that, Cal. It's even got the auction sticker already in the window, and all the floor mats are already in the boot. It was moments away. Until next time, cheers.